welcome. It's another Monday. How you feeling, Jonny Rey?
I'm so full.
How
are
still?
you?
Oh, I slept bad last night. I was so full.
We went to this really wonderful dinner party last night.
It was fantastic.
The home of Mr. Nick Anthony Zamucen.
You're welcome.
Who, in addition to all of his other abilities, is a wonderful cook.
You know, I think people are surprised that I actually cook.
I'm not surprised.
Well, I actually cook pretty well.
It was fantastic, but I'm still very stuffed.
You know, it was filling. I have not posted any photos yet on Instagram, which I probably should.
It was impressive because it was dinner and a show.
It was dinner and a show. Well,
kind of like Italian Benihana. There was fire. There was caviar.
Yeah.
There was
cheese wheel, 43-pound cheese wheel, making the pasta in the cheese wheel. Yeah.
It was very impressive.
Asparagus that went too long and got soggy. But yeah, I mean, who needs vegetables anyway? We had salad.
Right.
Mr. Kyle Chasen made a very good Caesar salad.
Exactly.
Dressing by scratch.
Yes.
His little French came out.
It was all really impressive.
It was good.
You tasked me with cooking nothing, but bringing the wine.
Well, because I didn't trust anybody else with the wine but you.
I was thinking you were going to say you didn't trust me to do anything else but the wine.
No, I knew we needed some Italian wine to go with it. And, Prosecco. And I just, people, you say Prosecco or Italian wine, they'll grab American, they'll grab French. They won't pay attention to what I asked them to do. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to be irritated at my own dinner party.
No. And it helps that I coincidentally have two friends that wind up being sommeliers.
Oh.
So I'd like to take credit for this.
Well.
But a little text, here's what's on the menu.
What do you think?
Find me something that pairs nicely with it.
All right. Well.
So as much as I would like to take credit for that.
Well, friends in high places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings me to our first topic for today's podcast. What is the best meal you've ever had?
Ooh. Consistently, I'll say consistency is Nobu. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's the Malibu Nobu, Los Angeles Nobu, Scottsdale, Vegas, Chicago. I've been to almost all of them. Nobu is consistently Palm Desert, which is that weird
tennis club.
I mean, I've been to almost all the Nobus out there, and Nobu consistently never lets me down.
Yeah,
it's a very consistent meal. Consistent pricing as well, but it's always a very consistent meal.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nothing that stands out though more.
I'm really trying to think of I think of myself as a food snob. Uh-huh. So it's hard for me to say, it's kind of like, it'd be easier for me to answer, what's your best steak? What's your best sushi? What's your best Italian? Well, I don't know. I don't, best meal in general.
Well, I mean, a best steak.
Best steak, one of the best steaks that kind of comes to mind immediately is Gallagher's.
Okay.
Gallagher's in New York.
Okay.
Great steakhouse. They also have one in New York, and Vegas. I've been to that one too.
Okay.
And the chefs say they basically share the meat. They'll order enough. The same one you get in New York, they'll ship out to Vegas. So same buyer, I guess is what I'm saying. Sushi, Nobu's really hard to beat. It just really is. People are like, oh, it's the name. No, it's really not. It's not. When you tell me that, it tells me you don't know what the fuck you are talking about. Nobu is consistently a great sushi meal.
Well, I feel like they would have to be too because of the name. You can't rest on your laurels. You have to
perform every time.
Exactly.
It's like me in the bedroom every single time. I can't just. I'm only as good as my last at bat, right? So Molly, not sommelier. So Molly, comma was she? Boy, she was giving me a load of shit the other day. She does not like this podcast. She does not like the shit I say on it. Uh-huh. She does not. She's supportive because it's what you and I want to do. Uh-huh. But she is so far from liking not only what we talk about, but specifically what comes out of my mouth with her name attached to it. She's like, she's so nervous. Like what the people in the school, in our kids' school think. It doesn't bother me with a damn. I could care less. And then again, I'm not at the school very much. I just walk in and it's Mr. Zamucen this, Mr. Zamucen that. I'm like, as long as they, If I say any more, I'm going to get in trouble. My point is, I like having sex with my wife, and I need to not say what's always up here. It's just there's not a lot of filter. It just shoots right out.
What do they call that? No stopgap?
No stop. Yeah. I mean, there's no plug in this bad boy. It's just all comes out. However, to get back on track, Molly was telling me that the other night. We were having a little pillow talk, and I was giggling something about the podcast, and I saw her kind of just shake her head. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm supportive of it because it's what you want to do, but I certainly don't like it. I was like, what? It's hilarious. She did not think so. Like, she does not think so at all. And I'm like, what do you, everyone I talk to, they're like, it's so funny. And I'm like, I know.
Well, it's kind of like, not that I would have any frame of reference for this, but it seems like locker room talk.
Yeah. Just chatting.
Except for I spend 0% of my time in locker room. I wrote way too many excuse notes in high school to get out of gym class. So
the benefits of having nice handwriting.
Right. Until somebody finds out who I call mom.
Oh, yes. Well.
Did not end well.
What are you going to do?
Well, not do that anymore.
Well, at least not get caught.
Well, you sign up for homeschool PE at that point. It's totally a thing.
Homeschool PE.
Uh-huh.
Make sure Johnny runs up and down the block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We had a treadmill.
Yeah.
I looked at it. Run my mouth.
Wow.
That seemed to be sufficient.
So I'm sorry. Let's get back on the food.
Best food, yes, because
Yeah. What about you? I mean, you have quite a dining portfolio.
Yeah, and I'm real picky.
Right. That's why we're friends.
Right. I think the best meal ever, though, was in Florence, Italy, not Colorado.
I didn't even know there was a Florence, Colorado.
Where they keep the prison, Supermax.
Florence, Colorado?
I think. Pretty sure. Florence, Italy, the day I turned 30. I stupidly did not make a reservation to tour the Duomo. So there was a line. I thought, well, I'll wait in lines. It was a really charming cafe across the piazza from it called Cafe Duomo. Very creative.
Yeah, well.
Memorable, though. Fabulous food.
Really?
I mean, probably twice the size of this studio, maybe. But I just remember it being fantastic because most of the seating is outside on the plaza.
Yeah.
That stands in my mind as one of the best. And I don't know if it's because you're on vacation.
How much wine had you had at that point?
I think it was still early in the day.
Well, how much wine did you have? What does that mean?
But the food was really good. But I feel like anything you have in Italy is...
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of good.
I remember going to Monaco and in my fractured French ordering lunch because they appreciate it when you try to speak the local language, unless you're in Monaco, where this waitress snooted right up and she goes, I have absolutely no idea what you just said. She just pointed at the board. Yeah. That thing. I'll have that.
Je ne sais quoi.
Well, yeah, she was not having any of that. It was kind of funny. I thought, well, I tried. Yeah. Gave it the old college try. Did not appreciate my French. Domestically, best meal. Hard to say. There's a restaurant that's now closed. It was on Worth Avenue in Palm Beach called Taboo. And it'd been around for a long time. I think they just closed within the last year, maybe two.
COVID?
No, they got bought out by somebody.
Oh.
I think they're putting a Ralph Lauren restaurant in where they used to be. But it was good. I'm trying to think, though.
I can think of a restaurant. It's no longer there. It used to be called Remy in Santa Monica on the 3rd Street Promenade. It's right at the bottom of the strip on the left-hand side. It was the only place I ever ran into Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
Yeah, Remy in Santa Monica on 3rd Street. Because I used to live in Santa Monica for a long time. And Remy was, it was fantastic. It was the type of place where they were okay with you going off menu because I do, and I did a lot. They would look and I'd say, I need, I need the angel hair pasta with a little cream sauce and I need the truffle from over here. And I need you just to kind of make the dish.
Right.
And they were like, sure, no problem. And I was in my 20s at this point. So what little shit I was ordering off menu like I was somebody. But I did. So the whole Jack Nicholson story. It's not much of a story, but it is a story, and it's a very short one, and I'll get to it. This is where I saw Jack Nicholson drink San Pellegrino.
Okay.
So I'm about 4 tables away, and I don't get starstruck very easily. I know a few various people in Hollywood, et cetera, sort of minions, yes. and I don't talk about it much because there's nothing to talk about. The reason I don't talk about it is because you name drop, if you will, and all of a sudden you're name dropping. I'm like, no, I'm telling the fucking story. Who was there?
Well, right.
So I don't want to name drop. I'm at this restaurant, Remy, and I was with some people who I don't want to name drop. I'm sitting there, and the man walks in, Jack walks in, and I'm like, I remember thinking, okay, this is Jack Nicholson. It's the only actor I think is worth a damn besides Pacino and De Niro. And I'm like, okay, who I've never met. I've never seen or met in Hollywood whatsoever. Never saw my time down in LA. I never saw those two. But I would assume they're probably in New York. So Jack walks in.
Now, real quick.
Yes.
Is this put together Jack Nicholson, or is this Jack Nicholson looking like he got shot out of a cannon, Jack Nicholson?
No, he was Jack that night.
Okay.
He had a suit on.
Because you see sometimes.
Just Einstein. Yeah. No, he had a suit on. Okay. He had a suit. No, I'm sorry. He had a polo shirt on, not a suit on. He had a jacket on he had an overcoat when he walked in. Okay. Took the overcoat off, and then he had a polo shirt. I remember it was like a purple or something, is there like a periwinkle purple? Anyway.
It's like a lavender, maybe?
Maybe lavender.
Okay.
That's probably the better way of saying it, lavender. Because it wasn't periwinkle, it was what? Blue.
Yeah.
Anywho, my point is, he sits down, and I'm like looking at the table. He's over to the left of me. I'm looking at the table like, what's this guy ordering? What's this guy ordering? I got to know what this guy's ordering. And so he San Pellegrino, drinks one. He gave him the little one. He literally just cracks it, drinks it from the bottle, puts it down, makes some sort of gesture like, give me the big one, jackass. And so, so they put him the big one, they pour it because he just drinks the bottle and kind of just like rolls it on the table. Like, what are you doing? Like somebody didn't know what his order was. He gets up and go to the bathroom. For whatever reason, I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom too.
You gotta.
This is my only one-on-one time with the man. So stupid. Mind you, I think I'm 24, 25 at the time.
We do things like that.
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm just going to go to the bathroom too. Right. So I walk in. There's 2 stalls. There's two urinals. He's on the right one. There's the kids' left one. So I walk in. I'm like, can't just stay in here. Got to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Go next to him. Go to the go into the bathroom. Kind of looks over. He's like, is it getting wet? I just kind of laughed. He's like, pasta's great, kid. And that was it. That was my whole story. And I didn't know what he meant. And I later found out, when I've told the story a few times, mind you, I told you it's not a very good story.
Well, no.
but mind you, when I was going in the kids' urinal, and he was basically making a joke like, is your dick so big that it's getting wet in the urinal because you had to use the small one? Like you couldn't wait. And I had to have somebody explain that to me. Like, he was basically saying, hey, you're using the kids' urinal. Is your dick so long that it's touching is that why you had to use the kids' one? And I was more like, I got to go to the bathroom. I can't just stay in here.
For sure.
And I was going to stand there and wait for him to finish, but I was like, that's weirder than just going in the kids' urinal. So when he looks over, is it getting wet?
I would have had to have someone explain that.
I just kind of laughed.
I did.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
And now, older and wiser, you just send Bananas Fosters over.
Yeah, well. So that was my encounter with Jack Nicholson. Not much of a one. I giggled like a 25-year-old because I didn't know what to say because I didn't know what he meant.
Right.
I think I like looked down at my shoes, like, am I peeing on my shoes? What the hell is going on?
That's what I would have thought.
Yeah. He said, try the pasta, kid. It's fantastic. And he left as he's washing his hands. He left. I was like, okay. And from that point on, I had the pasta, which I always did anyway. A little angel hair cream sauce. It was almost what we had last night.
With truffle from that side?
No, they had no truffle there, but it was, well, at least I didn't order it. At that time, I just wasn't, I was just gaining my riches at that point. So I didn't have a lot of truffle back then.
On that note.
Yes.
Famous or infamous.
Yeah.
Who is someone that you admire?
Who is someone that I admire?
Yeah. I mean, and the reasons could be deep, shallow.
Probably. And I think we talked about this, and I'm actually going to be going to dinner with him soon, is George Clooney. Yeah, Clooney. I think he does a lot for humanity. I think he does a lot for his family. I think he's a good down home Kentucky kid.
Yes.
He's a
Mayville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I think he's a good dude overall. So I would say if there's someone I admire, I guess I would have to say him. Right back at you.
I have, like you, I don't get starstruck very easily. And all of the stars that I ever wanted to meet are long dead.
Sure. You're a product of the 30s.
Yeah, at the latest. On Spotify the other day, one of her songs came up, Phyllis McGuire. She was the lead singer of a musical group called McGuire Sisters in the 1950s. And they were from some small town in Ohio. Made it big on Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts, which was kind of a pre-American Idol in the 50s.
Okay.
Acts would go on, or singers, or it's like Star Search. Every generation's had one.
Right.
So there was Star Search, there's American Idol, there was America's Got Talent. This was Arthur Godfrey. And everything they did was synchronized within an inch of their lives. Same hair, same dresses. And I don't necessarily guess I would admire her so much for her philanthropic endeavors like George Clooney. But as a style icon, I do.
Well,
there was, because I went down the rabbit hole after that song came on, and I found an old interview on YouTube. Barbara Walters was interviewing her. I think it was from 1988. And this house that she had in Las Vegas, 55,000 square feet.
That's a hotel. Jesus.
She had a replica of the Eiffel Tower in her living room.
Really?
Not like like you walked under it to go into the living room.
Wow.
And
big fan of Paris.
Other end was the Arc de Triomphe. This is one of my I admire you for shallow reasons, but
there was no rules set into place.
No.
Just the question.
Right. But and just listening to how she answered questions too, she was very, very gracious about all of her answers. And in the 1960s, once the group sort of dissolved, she took up with Sam Giancana, which was its own little scandal.
Sure.
And how she answered Barbara Walters' pointed questions about that with a lot of tact. I don't know. I admired that, the class that she possessed.
What's desperately lacking in today's society.
Very much so.
Well, we're trying to bring it back.
We take a stab at it.
Justin Timberlake style. You like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Molly will like that one.
Yeah, there we go.
JT.
Well, and in a few days, it's going to be May. You know the meme.
Fuck, I hate it. It's so stupid. The funny thing is, this is how old I am. I didn't know what I was like, why is everyone posting this? I was like, what does this mean? It's going to be May. Yes, it's going to be every fucking year around this time. Yeah, I didn't get it. I mean like within the last 2 years, it was pointed out.
I'll post it later and tag you.
Yeah, it's fucking great. We're going to end the show there, boys and girls. Hope you had a great week.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to Off the Diamond Cuff.
When you listen to this podcast, it will be May.
It will be. Like and subscribe. Pass it to your good friend, your mom, your neighbor, to the kid you doesn't like. There's plenty of them.
All of them.
I'm Nick Anthony Zamucen. This is my man, Jonny Rey, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.